This video is for you if you just logged into your Dragon Traveler account all happy, going to see your ranking, and boom! You get slapped in the face with the realization that you just dropped 6 whole rankings, and now you're not gonna get your 10 mythical tickets. I didn't want to make a generic Colosseum guide because Colosseum is going to be constantly changing and evolving as we get new units, and new units enter the recommended luminary list. They will each have different effects, and each stage might have a different effect that heavily biases different units. So what I decided to do after doing a bunch of daily attempts is to give you a couple of counters that will inform your team building decisions based on whatever characters you're going to have to face. I guess the most important TLDR is anytime you see recommended luminaries, those have the potential to be very powerful in that Colosseum. You might want to play around with them and see if you could shave off a couple of seconds from your runs in order to rank higher. I believe your typical team for the first time you're clearing through the stages, disregarding any recommended luminaries, should look something like the following. Chiron. If you're not yet using Chiron, or you don't have a Chiron, make sure that you at least get one copy. Why is Chiron so good? Chiron at the start of the match will immediately give your strongest attack character morale. Morale gives you a 15% attack boost, just guaranteed. You don't need to do anything else other than having Chiron in your first slot so that she can buff your subsequent units. Chiron, in my opinion, is a no-brainer as your first slot every time whenever you're doing Colosseum. Following your Chiron, you want to make sure that you have somebody who can guarantee a kill. Somebody like Poseidon, somebody like Siegfried, somebody like Ifrit. These are all extremely good picks because they can do a lot of very big burst damage and guarantee a kill. The next pick is for all you $1 Andes that have Fenrir. Fenrir is so busted for Colosseum because whenever you can confirm a kill with Fenrir, she will be able to immediately ult and have the potential to one-shot the next unit. Fenrir is incredible for lineups whenever you have a tanky unit followed by a squishy unit. So you can confirm the kill with Fenrir, ult, and then follow up the ult with the squishy unit so that you can one-shot them. That will let you clear 2 units in one go and only have to deal with the final unit with your secondary DPS's ult. Now I want to shed some light on some of the most annoying matchups, such as Morichiser. What Morichiser will do is once you kill him, he will revive. Some of the absolute goats to go against Morichiser is everybody's going to have as a free-to-play is Poseidon. Why is Poseidon so strong? After you use her skill, she will be able to do tremendous amounts of damage to Morichiser, most often than not killing him. Since she only used her skill, once Morichiser revives, she will be able to then use her ultimate and finish off both phases of Morichiser with only one character ult, letting you from there to switch over to your secondary DPS to kill the second unit, which is typically a squishy unit, and then go into the final fight, potentially cycling back to Poseidon and rinse and repeating that process until you clear out the 3 enemies. Somebody that you do not want to use against Morichiser would be Fenrir. If you kill Morichiser's first phase with Fenrir, since you didn't actually kill him, you will not be proccing Fenrir's follow-up ult, and you're just going to be standing there trying to munch down on a Morichiser that is fully healed. Another good example of somebody you can switch for Poseidon if you have them at very high stars is someone like Gabby. Gabby also has a very powerful hitting skill, followed up by a very high hitting ult. The only thing that's maybe not great with Gabby is that her death rattle effect will make her ultimate stronger, and unless you're using maybe some fodder unit instead of Chiron so that they die and then Gabby can get buffed, you might see a little bit less damage using Gabby than using Poseidon. Some interesting, very niche characters. I know I said I wasn't going to go too specifics into this Colosseum, but in this Colosseum, people are getting a lot of shields. A character like the assassin Mordred, she is an SSR+, and you do need to get into the second tier of level ups in order to unlock her. She flat out, as her passive or talent, will make it so that you just strip any shield that the enemy has, making Mordred a very powerful character for this Colosseum transition. But again, you might not see her always, because as I mentioned in the beginning, it's just gonna really depend on what the conditions are for this Colosseum. Another super annoying battle is against the Golem. When this guy just Mario pounces his ass onto you and he stuns you, that's super annoying because you're gonna get stun locked for 6 seconds. At that point, just reset the run. You are cooked, brother, right? Those are 6 seconds you ain't getting back. Best way to counter Mr. Golem is with ultimates that make your character invincible. Here's where Gabby typically shines a lot. Whenever Gabby uses her ult, she will essentially face off of existence and let the golem slam his ass against the concrete, and then she will materialize again and do a bunch of damage to the golem, potentially killing him and letting you move over to the next batch of enemies. Another very good character for the golem if you don't have Gavi, and this might be a little bit more free to play, the femboy also teleports off of existence and interrupts the golem. So that might be another unit that you can always use whenever you see the golem, because the golem is super annoying. And then the final very annoying enemy is Groot. Groot is going to be doing a bunch of healing to himself, and if you can't pretty much one-shot him, he's going to be turning into a pretty difficult kill. So against Groot, I believe some of your best options is somebody like Ifrit that can just guarantee the one-shot on Groot. Poseidon is also one of my go-tos, as we have previously talked. She will be able to do a very high damaging skill into her ult, typically resulting in Groot dying. And then lastly, I really like Siegfried because she can go ahead and do that defense shred into her ult and typically get us the kill as well. Even if she can't get the kill, if you have Fenrir, you can use Fenrir to finish him off, then one-shot your Chiron, and then if you time your ult right, you might be able to go back into your Poseidon and defeat the golem before he is able to stun lock you. And before I finish off this video, because I can already hear the free-to-plays be like, oh my god, I don't have Fenrir, I don't have $1, oh my god, I can't do it. Okay, if you don't have Fenrir and you can't spare a buck, my go-to team for this Colosseum was, my go-to team if I really didn't have Fenrir will typically consist of Chiron and Poseidon, and I would sometimes flex in Ifrit if I need to make sure that I guarantee a kill with just one ult. There's still a couple of days on this event. Hopefully you guys are able to lock in, get your mythical tickets, get out of here.